get straight into the book because you're all probably dying to hear what Quixote's doing.
Well, if you've clicked on this video, it means you are dying to hear what happened next. And briefly, parents have rescued the children after the house has been attacked. So let's find out what happened.
To Quixote, at least.
Oh, that's right, Quixote went missing, eh?
Yeah.
So here we go. Excited by the explosions and curious about the smell of gun smoke, Quixote snuck back through the house. He tiptoed into the large hall at the front and widened his eyes. The front half of the building sat crumpled on the ground. Clumps of broken wood and stone lay strewn everywhere, and fire crept towards him. The flames danced and tantalized him, and compelled to watch, he did not see the fighting outside through the smoke and the heat haze. A loud scream, like that of a man intent on murder, shattered its way through the fiery spectacle. Oblivious to the danger, Quixote rushed forward, leaping through the flames, and landed singed but unhurt. He squatted behind a pile of splintered wood, awestruck. Out of the dark and into the orange fire-lit light, bearded men in furs and leathers barged forward, hacking at his father and his uncles with swords and sticks. Shots rang out behind them, and in the faint light Quixote saw the outline of a large protruding cannon. He caught a glimpse of his father speeding past, and his father stopped, and 5 men dived on him from behind. Another 5 men ran at him from the front. His father spun around and roared through his rear attackers like a charging bull. He slammed 2 of them to the ground, and the remaining 3 smashed into those attacking from the front and thudded into the dirt. Screaming guttural battle cries, they stumbled and lurched to their feet, readying for another attack. Quixote's father reached down to the unconscious body of one of them and grabbed a sword. Brandishing it, he bellowed back at them, "Roar!" and with blur-like speed launched himself at them. 5 of his attackers fell to the ground, bleeding and groaning. And his father carried on forward, hacking and cutting his way like a madman into a growing crowd of attackers. More and more men poured out from behind the cannon barrel and started to swamp his father and his uncles. Quixote's mother dived on him from behind and latched onto his hand, and with a vice-like grip, and stood. He felt himself launch off the ground, and again with uncanny accuracy she tugged him through the darkness, speeding away from the battle. He flapped behind her like a piece of paper on a string, his skinny legs and feet barely touching the ground. He imagined water skiing felt like this, and an ear-to-ear grin creased his face. They dodged and they weaved amongst the massive roots of the Moreton Bay fig trees, and soon the entire length of their house, their sprawling house, had flashed by. The noise and light fell behind him, and he felt his mother tug him uphill, and they headed into the forest at a punishing pace. Bushes swished past Quixote's face, swiping at him, wiping muck on him, and the undergrowth plants tugged at his legs, while small twigs and bendy branches poked at him. Excitement raced through him. All these years, he and his cousins had been trained to learn through playing. Perhaps all this time, they had possessed hidden powers as well. He let his mind drift, imagining that he was on safari in the deepest, darkest Congo, a place he'd never been, fleeing from native attackers faster than a...
Where are you?
His mother said, snapping Quixote back to the present. Here, he said, perplexed. He listened, expecting an answer.
Okay, we shall be there soon. Get them ready,
she said, sounding as if someone had replied to her question. Who are you talking to, Mum?
Your aunties.
Oh, I didn't hear them answer.
One day soon you will.
Her voice sounded tired, and though she picked up speed a little, as questions of mystery and intrigue filled Quixote's mind, his legs tired, and he struggled to keep up. Many questions about their fathers raced around his mind.
Nearly there, my little one.
He gave in to the tiredness and let his legs thrash like crazy beneath him. Somehow managing to keep going, his thoughts turned to his father and his uncles and the men they fought, and a faraway explosion sounded again down in the valley.
They're here,
Lexington said, excited, into Melaleuca's ear. Melaleuca turned and saw Quixote and his mother emerge from the bush and into the small clearing where she and the others had stopped to wait. Quixote approached her. None the worse for his escapade, Melaleuca spied his sheepish grin and could tell he was bursting to boast of something. He pawed at the buttons on his pockets and opened his mouth to speak, though his mother dropped to her knees and let out a noise that sounded like a muffled cry. The other mothers rushed to her, causing a look of concern Melaleuca had never seen before to cross Quixote's face. Unsure how to react, he half smiled and half grimaced. Lexington's mother knelt and whispered to Quixote's mother. Whatever the words were, they propelled her back to her feet, and another explosion, this time bigger, boomed from way below, followed by a victorious cry. I saw it all! Quixote flapped his arms, large and wide. They were like Supermen, and... His mother's hand fell over his mouth, and she shushed him into silence. And again Melaleuca saw him gaze, puzzled at his mother's grave face. Ari's mother wheeled about, face down valley, and said,
Okay, we are on our way.
She paused, and in a faltering voice added, The mothers murmured amongst themselves. Melaleuca stepped up to her mother and her aunties.
What is going on?
An eerie silence fell over them, and as if wanting to hide their own true feelings, the mothers hesitated, and then they turned to face Melaleuca, though an overwhelming sense of long ago dread emanated from them. Quixote's mother broke rank and pulled Quixote close to her, and the rest of the mothers approached their children. Lexington's mother ran her hand through Lexington's long hair.
Always remember your strength is your mind and your gentleness. Your gentleness is the strongest weapon you have. Weapon? What do you mean weapon?
Lexington said.
What is going on? Use it. Only when you need to. Take care. It does not dominate you.
As Lexington's mother stood, she pulled an object from her pocket and slipped it quickly into Lexington's hand and closed her fingers around it and then leant into her ear.
Hide it from the others. You will know when it's time to show them. If you find it, come back for us. Find what? Said
Lexington. Her mother did not answer, but turned and walked to the edge of the clearing. Lexington hid the object in one of her pockets, curious yet confused. Ari's mother grasped her son's thick shoulder and felt his muscles underneath his camouflage suit.
Your father and I have never been prouder. Not in all the years could we have foreseen a lad like you. Strong as an ox, unfaltering and brave. Stay strong for the others.
She said, filled with admiration.
We will see you again, won't we, Mum?
She stood and joined Lexington's mother. Melaleuca locked eyes on her mother, and she gazed into an older version of her own face, though her eyes differed. Through the darkness, she pictured those eyes in her mind, a blue fog over the irises and a subtle undertone staining the whites purple. All the mothers had them. She wondered again why it was, and why only she, Melaleuca, looked like them. Tears welled in her mother's eyes, filling them.
Melaleuca, use your instincts always, not your mind. Remember what we taught you. That was just playing,
Melaleuca said. Her mother hugged her tight enough to make Melaleuca feel as if she would never see her again.
Mum, please, what's going on?
Her mother answered her with a kiss and then walked away. Melaleuca fumed. She did not want to listen to her instincts. If her feelings were right, they were about to be separated from their parents, and then she would be in charge, totally in charge. Dread grew inside her, and she questioned whether she was ready for this.
It's time,
Quixote's mother said. A stifled cry came from one of the mothers.
Please tell them.
No, we agreed. It must be this way, one of the other mothers said. Fed up, Melaleuca marched closer to them.
Tell us now. Intolerable, what is going on? Is this a test or what?
Through the dark, the mothers could all feel Melaleuca's sharp eyes boring into them, wanting, challenging, unearthing, and demanding a reason for their actions. It's what Melaleuca did best, cut away the untruths. Her mother stepped forward and took her a small distance away and spoke with her alone. A silent but pensive Melaleuca returned calmer. What did she say? Quixote asked. Giants? Are we giants?
If she knows, I want to know.
Lexington's soft voice said, and then added,
Might as well tell me. You know, I will work it out.
Supermen, Quixote blurted out. That's it, eh? We are Supermen.
And why are these men after us?
Lexington said. Quixote's mother stepped forward.
They are not. They do not know you exist and forbid they find out. So what? Enough!
And we're going to leave it there. Now, if you don't want to hear the discussion about this, click off now and go straight to the next video. So what do you think about what just happened?
Let's just give the people time to click off.
Give people time to click off, and they've clicked off.
Well, gee, this has gotten pretty intense.
It has, hasn't it? I mean, Quixote saw his father's moving at lightning speed. His mother ran at lightning speed, and they were obviously communicating over a long distance.
Isn't like telekinesis, but in their minds?
Yeah, telepathy. So they've been attacked, the mothers have hidden them, and something's going on. These men have turned up out of nowhere, and they live in this valley by themselves and have had very little contact with the outside world. So I guess if you want to know what's going to happen, you have to tune in to the next video. So we'll see you in the next video. I'm not going to do a ciao again?
Ciao.
Ciao. Okay, bye.
Bye.